Hello, my name is Changwoo, and today I'll be presenting about my final design project that I came up with on Croatia, which is the area of interest I decided to choose. So before we start with the facts about like energy and electricity, I would like to start with some basic facts of Croatia. So first of all, 10% of Croatia is national park, and also it includes 1,246 islands. So as it can be seen through this environmental aspect of Croatia, tourism plays a huge role in their economy, which is why like due to COVID-19, although like they're having like a difficulty in economy compared to like those years where COVID didn't exist. And also it can be seen that Croatia cares about the publicity health of their citizens as they spend around 8% of their GDP on health. And with like this value is not related to electricity, but Game of Thrones was filmed in Croatia. So electricity generation. So this data are from 2018. So the energy consumption of Croatia was 419 trillion British thermal units compared to the generation of 164 trillion British thermal unit, which is around like 2.5 times more than the electricity generated. And the energy consumption per capita is 102 mega British thermal units, and the percent of renewable energy was around 53.6. As it can be seen in the bar graph, the different sources include like natural gas, petroleum and other liquids, and nuclear, renewable energy, and others. And renewable energy plays takes up most of the energy generated by Croatia. Electricity generation. So because I couldn't find the more recent one, I decided to use the data from 2015. And the electricity generation in 2015 was around 11.4 terawatt hour per year. And the non-renewable fossil-based electricity generated was 32.4% of the total, which is 3.7 terawatt hour per year. And 67.6% of the total generation was renewable electricity, which is 7.7 terawatt hour per year. And as can be seen in the pie diagram, hydro plays 57.5, takes out 57.5% of the electricity generation, which can be concluded that out of all the renewable energy like hydro energy, solar energy, and wind energy, hydro energy is a major factor that brings the generation of electricity in Croatia. So electricity price and carbon dioxide emission. So the carbon dioxide emission per year in million metric tons in 2018 in Croatia was 22 million metric tons. And because Croatia's population is 4.105 million people, if we divide if we take the 22 million metric tons and divide that by 4.105 million, it, pro- it produces a CO2 emission per capita of 5.3 to the power of negative 5.3 times 10 to the power of negative 6 million metric tons. And the price of electricity for residential sector in Croatia was around 0.16 cents per kilowatt hour, which I think is like pretty average compared to the other countries, as Panama also has a electricity price of 0.16 cents, and like Korea I think also has a similar price like of 0.16 or 0.18, which I believe is pretty average compared to the other countries. So the replacement plans I came up with, the main plan, like the overall plan I'm thinking of is 75% onshore wind turbine and 25% concentrating solar power. And although the onshore wind turbine was much more cheaper than the concentrating solar power, the reason why I included that is because, as it could be seen in the electricity generation in 2015, only 0.5% of it was solar power. So I thought that maybe this area could be improved, as if this area gets further developed, it would provide much more renewable energy for Croatia. The model I choose for the onshore wind turbine was Cyprus onshore wind turbine platform 6.0-164. So its characteristic is that it has a rated power of 6 megawatt, a rotor diameter of 164 meters, and its top height varies like depending on the variation it creates, because like depending on the place where where it's constructed, you might have like some difficulty of like the height. So it has two variation of 112 and 167 meter. And the Cypress onshore wind turbine also contains a high-tech carbon blades, which it has a reduction of mass compared to the other like blades in the wind turbine, which allows to produce an increase in strength of the rotation, producing much more energy compared to the other models. And the photo on the right is like the model of the wind turbine. Placement plan 2 I came up with was obviously the concentrating solar power. It has the model I decided to use was Cerro Dominador solar thermal plant, and the electricity capacity it has is 210 megawatt with a number of heliostats of 1600, which, and as it can be seen in the photo, is displaced like that, like I guess like in a circular model. Yeah, circular model. It has a combination of concentrated solar thermal and photovoltaic plant. And the photovoltaic plant uses semiconducting materials that exhibit the photovoltaic effect, which allows the sunlight to be converted into electricity. And unlike the old models of concentrating solar power, Cerro Dominador solar thermal plant uses molten salt, which is used as heat transfer fluid and thermal energy storage in the model. And then it also has a tower height of 250 meter. So the numeric detail of my plan. So the number of concentrating solar